request every delegate to kindly switch on their cameras if they want to. So it will be easier for us to communicate with you all. And please tell us if you can hear us clearly or not. Okay, delegates, so shall we start? I'm going to start the session now. So, a very warm welcome to UNHRC, the United Nations Human Rights Council. First, I'll try to explain what this council stands for. So, the United Nations Human Rights Council is an intergovernmental body with the United Nations system responsible for the protection of all human rights. It is responsible for strengthening the promotion and protection of human rights around the globe and for addressing situations of human rights and violations and make recommendations on them. So basically, UNHRC is a very important body of the United Nations. As I said in my introductory text, that it is kind of the very basic pillar of on which humanity stands. It's the very basic pillar on which all our civilization is based on. It takes care of the rules and the regulations. It takes care of the basic human rights that everyone in this world deserves. It is one of the most unbiased councils in UNHCR, in United Nations. And now we'll proceed to the rules and regulations of how our session is going to proceed. So I hope all of you know that we are going to have the meetings on conferences on 18th and 20th of August. So I hope you'll all be there. Okay, now we go to the ROP. So every conference begins with a roll call. What is the roll call? Essentially, we'll start calling out your names, like the attendances are taken in your schools, right? In your classrooms, everybody's roll number is called, and then they have to say present, ma'am, or if they are not there, they'll be marked absent. So the same thing happens in a committee session. First, the roll, like the countries in an alphabetical order will be called out, and when your country is called out, you have two options of either answering with present or present and voting. Now, there's a difference between present and present and voting. When you say you're present in a committee or in a session, that means that you won't be giving any speeches, you won't be speaking at all, you'll just be sitting there and you won't be voting for the draft resolution or anything. But when you say present and voting, that means that you will be talking, you will be giving your speeches, you will be present physically, not just physically present, but also mentally present in the committee sessions. You'll be giving your votes for the draft resolution. So it is a request from the ED that, yes, all of you, please go for present and voting, because after all, why are we all here? We are all here to enjoy a debate, right? This is a special kind of debate, a very formal, special kind of debate. So we are here to enjoy that. So I would request all of you to go for present and voting to make the debate more interesting. Otherwise, when present तो बैठ ही रहेंगे सब ऐसे, तो बैठने तो नहीं आए ना, काम करने आए इसलिए. Okay. Next we have. Could you go to the Shadinya? Could you go to the top slide on top of this? So after this, we come to the setting of the agenda. Now, what is the agenda for our committee? The agenda for our committee is humanitarian and refugee crisis with deliberation on Afghanistan. In simple words, it means that the refugee crisis and the humanitarian crisis that is going on in Afghanistan for over 4 decades, that is what we are going to talk about. So I'll just briefly tell you what it's about. Once the roll call is completed, the committee proceeds with the setting of the agenda. After the delegate has been recognized by the chairs, they come up and set the agenda with the following statement. The delegate of your portfolio would like to set the agenda for this conference, being humanitarian and refugee crisis with deliberation on Afghanistan. Now, how do you get recognized by the chair? You get recognized by the chair. In order to get recognized by the chair, you'll be having placards, or you'll be having placards on your table on which your portfolios will be written. For example, let's take India wants to raise the agenda. So you'll be having placards on your table, and the delegate of India is the first delegate to raise their placard. We recognize that delegate. We say that, yeah, delegate of India, you're recognized. And then the delegate says the following sentence. The delegate of India would like to set the agenda for the conference being humanitarian and refugee crisis with deliberation on Afghanistan. After this, we have a voting. After any agenda or any motion is set, we have a voting. Okay? We'll be having quite a lot of voting scenarios. And this is where present and voting is important. If you're just present, you won't be able to vote in these procedures. You'll just be sitting there. So please go for present and voting in order to vote for these procedures. Okay. So voting, it's very important to know like how an agenda is selected. Okay. So if you have given this agenda, you will be in order for this agenda to pass, there needs to be a majority. What is the majority of a committee? A majority of the committee is the total number of participants present. As we said, that we'll be having a roll call. So we'll come to know that the total number of participants that are present. So the total number of participants, half of that plus one will be the majority. At before the voting, or before the agenda is set, we'll tell you what the majority, simple majority is for agenda to get to become a motion. Okay. So now, as the agenda of our committee is the deliberation and humanitarian crisis on Afghanistan, everyone we request you. You have the right to vote or not vote in this, but I'll request everyone to kindly vote for this as it is the preset agenda of our committee. Okay. So now, every agenda and motion gets passed only if voted upon by a simple majority, as explained before. Now we'll go to the next slide. Yeah. Before that, I would like to ask, do you all have any doubts in what I said before this? You can switch on your mic so you can write in the chat box and we'll answer those doubts. Does anyone have any doubts? Or you want to say anything, interact with the delegates present here? Does anyone want to do that? We good? We good? Could I see thumbs up, please, guys? Could I see a thumbs up? So we're gonna proceed. Sharanya, could I go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So after the agenda is set, we go to the general speakers list. Also, in short form, we call it a GS. So, what is a general speakers list? A general speakers list is a list of speakers who are going to speak on the agenda. It is advisable that all the delegates come up with the speeches. It is kind of an introductory speech, okay, to the agenda and how your country is related to the agenda, what your country is doing regarding that agenda, everything like that. So it is your introductory speech. It is very important. So we would request all delegates to please come up when we ask for the general speakers list. Okay, so now I'll just read this out. After the agenda being set, delegates are to establish the general speakers list. After the delegate has been recognized, as I said, that you'll be recognized when you raise a placard. So, yeah, and one more thing, it's not like only one delegate will raise the placard. All of you will raise the placard and we'll recognize all of you. Everyone will get a chance. So, it's not like one person will get a chance and that's how it will proceed. It's not like that. So, after the agenda being set, delegates are to establish the general speakers list. After the delegate has been recognized by the chairs, they establish the GSL with the following statement. The delegate of your portfolio. For example, let's take the delegate of India. So the delegate of India would like the committee to enter into a GSL for the total time being some minutes. Like, let's, for example, we have a lot of delegates. So let's take 30 minutes. For example, 30 minutes and each speaker getting 90 seconds. After okay, each speaker getting 90 seconds means that all of your speeches will be 90 seconds long. This is preset, okay, that 90 seconds. You can change it if you want, but 90 seconds is preferable because it's the first speech. So we come to know each other. We come to know how you are speaking, what your capabilities are, how your research is. So keep it 90 seconds and yeah. Okay. After that, after the speakers list is established, how is the speakers list established? When we even give a motion for general speakers list, there is also a voting. Everybody will vote, and whoever wants to go for general speakers list, they vote for it, and whoever doesn't, they can vote against. Okay. After that, after the speakers list is established, the said delegate has a choice to be the first or the last in the list. So whoever, this is very important because here you get a choice to go at the top of the list. Like very first, सबसे पहले तुमको speech देना या फिर सबका देखकर last में देना. So try to be the first one to, raise your placards so that we can, you can get recognized. So you'll be given a choice like that. Wait a second, huh? So you'll be given a choice like that. Whoever gets recognized by the chairs, you'll be given a choice if you are setting the agenda. This will be same for all the emotions, caucuses, unmoderated caucus, moderated caucuses, everything. You'll get a choice. Whoever is setting the motion will get a choice to go first or go last. Okay. Delegates should come up and voice their views and goals on the agenda. As I said before, that the general speakers list is an introductory speech. So you should come up with your strongest point. Okay. All the further discussions fall under the subtopics of the GSL's discussion. As the GSL is, mainly talking about our agenda. So every other discussion will be under that agenda. Subtopic hoga uska, chota topic. Like the agenda is a huge thing, right? So एक discussion में we cannot complete it. We'll break it into small parts, and that's how we'll go on with our meeting. Okay, there will be no yields. That is yielding your time to the floor, or yielding your time to another delegate, or yielding your time to the chair. We'll explain these in the later. But in general speakers list, you'll not be having any. Okay, regarding the general speakers list, does anyone have any problems or any questions that you want to ask?
How do we introduce ourselves when we are speaking for the first time in the general speakers list?
When you're speaking in the general speakers list, you start like anyone has a different kind of, etiquette or vocabulary to go on with it. We have later slides explaining that, but as you have asked this question, I'll just answer it. So when you're starting a speech, you start it with however you're starting, and instead of referring to yourself with your name, like your name is Arithro Mukhopadhyay, right? You wouldn't say you're Arithro Mukhopadhyay. You'll get a portfolio. I think you did not get your portfolio right now, did you?
Yes, I have got my portfolio right now.
Okay, what is it?
It's Ukraine.
So you got your portfolio Ukraine. So you'll start with the delegate of Ukraine, and then you'll start the speech. Wherever you want to, you have to say I or me. You'll say the delegate of Ukraine. Always refer to yourself in third person. Do not use I, me, us. Don't use those. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Or does anyone want to say something? Interact with the committee, interact with other delegates, interact with us. Anyone? So could I get a thumbs up for the GSL?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Rajina, can you just tell me the last that yield what you just said?
Yield we'll be explaining in the later slides, but yield means that तुमको 90 seconds दिया गया है. You understand yield, right? So तुमको 90 seconds दिया गया है, and maybe your speech ends before that 90 seconds. So you have that time, right? So वो तुमको दूसरे में moderated caucus में मिलेगा yield करने को. You can give your time to the floor where you'll be asked questions. You can give your time to the chair where the chairs like me and Sharanya will be asking questions. And you can yield your time to another delegate, which means you'll be giving that remaining time. Just say 10 seconds left here. So 10 seconds you'll be giving to other delegate. That is called yielding. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thumbs up. Sharon. Okay. Now I would pass the mic to my co-chair, Sharanya Parwa.
Good afternoon, delegates. I'm Sharanya, your vice chairperson of Unhrc. So, like, am I audible? First of all, is my first question. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so since you guys don't have any doubts regarding GSL, then we'll move to caucuses. Okay. Now, like after the GSL has exhausted, the floor is made open to any motion, then being established as moderated caucus and unmoderated caucus. So, okay, on the first day of the conference, let's say the first part of the day has gone to roll call, setting the agenda, and the GSL. Okay, that's the first part of the conference. Now, the second part consists of the moderated caucus. These shall be used by the delegates to discuss and debate on specific subtopics abided by a specific time limit. So now, as Rachaita said, the agenda is like this, like very big of an issue, like this very big of a topic, and we'll break this down into smaller subtopics. Humanitarian refugee crisis, like ये तो बहुत बड़ा
Sonia,
एक topic
sorry
है
to
ना, so we
interrupt,
can't
but
just
your voice is cutting.
okay, guys, is it just our problem or कि दूसरों को भी हो रहा है?
No, I guess it's just her problem because
Guys, am I
you are like
Yeah, for
clear
us
to
it's
us.
fine.
yeah, sure.
Cool, then
Pratusha,
I'll
just
leave
like
and join again.
look into a network connection maybe. Sure. Okay, so as Rachita said, कि बहुत बड़ा topic है. We can't like discuss everything in just one session. So this is what moderated caucuses are for. We'll break the whole issue into smaller subtopics and discuss each subtopic in different moderated caucuses. So what exactly a moderated caucus is? Okay. A moderated caucus is a formal discussion on selected subtopics in deeper and greater details. It allows the delegate to demonstrate their insight into the subject and give them a chance to take control of the discussion. Okay, the moderated caucus, and I will now refer to as mod in short. Okay, so the mod is exactly like the GSL. Okay, after the motion has been raised, and as you know, how do you get recognized by the chair? Can any one of you tell how do you get recognized by the chair? Any one of you? Rachit explained that. um Maybe Koni, you can explain how do you get recognized by the chair. I've been seeing that you have been really attentive to the session. Or maybe any one of you, if Koni is kind of hesitating. Guys, it's not a really big issue. If you can't, we can explain this again. That is why we are here, to explain you all the rules of procedures. Okay. Since like all of you guys are hesitating, I can explain this again. Acha. Someone is speaking. Yes?
By saying that present and would like to speak, we get recognized by the chair.
No. If you want to speak or like raise a point, you will be having placards on your table, right? So you will just pick the placard and raise it. And Rachayata and I will be sitting on a chairs, and we can just see you from there. So when we see you, you will be recognized by us. So how do you get recognized? We'll say, what's your profile or what's your portfolio again?
Ukraine.
Okay, Ukraine. So we'll say ki, the delegate of Ukraine, you've been recognized. So as soon as we say this statement, you have been recognized by the committee, and then you can put forward your statement. Okay. So this is the whole procedure of being recognized by the chair and so like maintaining this is like very important to to the basic decorum of the committee. You raise your placard, get recognized by the chair, and then put forward your statement. So for example, I say the delegate of Pakistan wants to set the session for the moderated caucus. So they get recognized by the chair and they say the delegate of Pakistan would like the committee to end the GSL and enter into a moderated caucus for the total time being. Okay, now the time is a variable thing. It can be 45 minutes, it can be 30 minutes, it can be 35 minutes. Okay, it depends on you. Like it's a general of 45 minutes and each speaker getting 60 seconds, and 60 seconds is also like a preset kind of thing, but you can also change this. Like it can be 60, it can be 50 seconds, it can be 45, but like I would request all of you to like stick to 60 seconds. So what is the procedure? If the delegate of any country wants to like raise the motion for moderated caucus, so the delegate would say the delegate of your portfolio would like the committee to end the GSL and enter into a moderated caucus for the total time being suppose 45 minutes and each speaker getting 60 seconds. The delegates can choose to yield their time if they finish their speech before if they finish their speech before the stipulated time. Okay, what is yielding that time? So we'll be explaining this later. But yielding is basically choosing how to use the remaining of your time. Suppose the total time is 60, right? Suppose any delegate finishes this speech within 40 seconds. So they will have 20 seconds left. So they have a number of ways to use that 20 seconds. Acha. Also, I would like to add one of the points. Okay. The topics for the moderated caucus will be decided by you guys, exactly, will be decided by you guys in the WhatsApp groups. After this session, will be start lobbying. Lobbying is a different thing. I'll explain that later. So basically, all of you will be deciding on more topics. More topics is like we have this agenda, right? The humanitarian and refugee crisis. So what can be the possible subtopics under that need like special attention? Any subtopic that what you think needs attention or needs to be discussed, needs possible solutions, you can just put forward in the WhatsApp groups, and by the majority voting, we can decide them in the WhatsApp group, and then the topic will be raised. Okay, so this is the moderated caucus. So does any one of you have any doubt about this? Any doubt? You can write it in the chat or turn on your mic if you're comfortable. Rachita, did I miss any point?
No, this is perfect. I just want to ask something. Are there two
Sure.
delegates with
That's it.
Spain? Arohi Khaitan, I guess, and Suchanandan. Are you both the same people or are you two different people?
I think different people.
Yeah, I am different.
Oh, okay. So both of your portfolio is Spain.
Yes.
Yes, I was wondering that while looking at the member list.
Okay. Okay, no problem. We'll take care of that. Yeah.
Sure. But since like no one of you has any doubt about the
For
mod, so then we'll move to the unmoderated caucus. Yes?
for the
Did
yielding,
anyone say anything?
if yes, I'm saying if we yield our remaining 20 minutes
Yeah.
20 seconds, and what type of questions will be asked related to that subject I am telling, or anything regarding what my country had did or will be doing.
Regarding yielding is when you yield your time to the chair or to the floor. The questions are asked on what you have spoken. Okay.
Okay.
Now there is a difference between yielding and the points raised by someone else. I will explain that later in detail. Okay. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so now we are moving to the yeah. So now we're moving to the unmoderated caucus. In short, I refer to it as unmod. So unmoderated caucus lets the committee change from a formal debate to a more informal setting. Okay, and after the delegate who wants to raise the motion for the unmod is recognized, remember the procedure. This session is set with the delegate of, suppose the delegate of, I guess, US. The delegate of US would like the committee to suspend the formal debate and move to an unmoderated caucus for the total time being. Now, generally, the time for an unmod is basically 15 to 20 minutes. So try to stick to that, like around 20. So the statement would be the delegate of US would like the committee to suspend the formal debate and move to an unmoderated caucus for the total time being 20 minutes. It is when delegates are free to lobby, discuss, negotiate for the draft resolutions. The unmoderated caucuses are crucial for the formation of later alliances, working blocs in the conference. Okay, I understand that there are many new words in this whole thing: draft resolution, alliances, working blocs. They're like, yeah. Okay, I'll explain all of that later. But the basic essence of an unmoderated caucus is to, like, there will be no rigidity of the formal debate in the unmod. Okay, there will be, except for the basic decorum of the conference, there will be no such rules or regulations for the thing. You can just come up, you can just come up to another delegate and share your opinions about the issues. Okay, and maybe search for possible solutions, and just to get to know them. Okay, this is a very important, this is like very important, the unmod time, because this is what actually decides what your draft resolution would be. Now the draft resolution, I'll just explain this in short. The draft resolution is this document that contains your proposed solution to the issue that we're discussing, like what you think the solution is. So generally draft resolutions are not only like drafted by you, a single delegate, but like with a group of delegate. Now that group of delegate is called a block. The unmoderated caucuses are crucial for the formation of later alliances. One delegate works with another delegate to work on a DR, the draft resolution. That is called the alliance, that they are working together. That is the alliance. And the working blocks in the conference. So, in order to create a successful alliance, to like create this, what do I say? This excellent draft resolution, you need to like find delegates who share the same opinion as your country. Okay, and like the country, the suppose the delegate of country A and delegate of country B share almost the same opinion about the issue, so they can form a alliance. So this is what basically unmod is. You like informally meet each other, share opinions, like try to find a proposed solution, or maybe not try at that point, just like share your opinions and your ideas. So this is what an unmod is. It will be like an unmonitored thing. Okay, so you can just like, yeah, there will be like no veil of rigidity in the unmod. That is what I can say. So like just be free during the unmod. Okay, and yeah, does anyone have any questions about the unmoderated caucus? Any
Uh,
question
I have a query.
or anything? Yeah.
Actually, I am representing Ukraine, and the current situation scenario of Ukraine is that it is currently at war with Russia. So, in this meetings in this meeting, are we gonna ignore the fact that Ukraine is in war with Russia, or include the fact that Ukraine is in war with Russia and is unable to provide any assistance to the Afghanistan?
Acha, that is what is okay. I can't really answer that because that is what is gonna make you a good delegate. If you can like really deduce the points of your country's current situations and what their allies gonna be doing. Because yeah, that is the point. Maybe Rachita can help you on that. Rachita?
Yeah. So yeah, of course, we cannot ignore the fact that Ukraine and Russia are in a war. We cannot ignore the fact that many countries present here are in a tight situation. We cannot ignore that because this
Of
is a
course.
real world movement. But if your country is not doing something, just war तो अभी start हुआ ना इस year से उससे पहले तो कुछ नहीं था ना उससे
Huh.
पहले तो Ukraine was set up. Find out that. Find out the history of that. We are
Okay.
telling that 4 decades से चल रहा है अफगानिस्तान का problem. So find out what your country did against for जो भी हो. Find it out and turn it to your best. Modify it to your best. You cannot
Yes.
change facts, of course. We cannot tell that the sun sets in the sun doesn't set, and we cannot tell that, right? But we can use the sun's power to grow crops. Same way, change the present the facts in such a way, modify them in such a way that they become to your advantage. Okay?
uh, so that it suits my country's agenda
Yeah.
in the
It
relevant discussion.
suits the committee's agenda, right? To find out the history, past, present, and if there are some future prospectives, find that out. Do it all.
Okay.
This is a request to all of the delegates. Like while you do your research, any crucial information, how small it may be, just keep it in your mind because you never know how it may come up to your hand, come up to your hand during your debates. Any information regarding the issue, how small it is, because you will be needing that while you form your alliances. Okay. So after the unmod, so I guess unmod is clear to everybody.
Yes.
Okay. Can I get acha? Yeah, sure. Very good.
I would
So
just,
now
I
we'll
would
be
just like
moving
to,
to points.
Sharanya, could I add something? Just a point. You said
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
unmod maximum unmod can only be for 20 minutes. So उससे ज़्यादा unmod मत रखो 20 minutes ही रखो, okay? Because see, unmod में ये भी बात है कि you're not getting like it's not a formal debate. And what are we here for? A formal debate, right? So keep unmod maximum till 20 minutes. In that time, do whatever Sharanya Didi told you to do. Okay? Yeah. Thank
Sure. Now we'll be moving to points. Okay, the points are basically what do I say? These are some requests or questions put forward to the committee. Okay, you will get that later when I explain through the points. So points are basically of 5 types: point of parliamentary inquiry, point of personal privilege, point of order, point of information, and right to reply. So what are these? Okay. So the first point is the point of parliamentary inquiry. The point is raised when the delegate requests for clarification from the chairs regarding rules of procedure. It may not interrupt the speaker. Okay. So first of all, I understand that the rules of procedure like this, the whole working of the committee is very complicated with the voting and the raising of motions and all. So this is what the point of a parliamentary inquiry is. If you have like any doubt about the rules of procedure at any given point in on the day of the conference, you can just raise your point. So basically, what so let's say the delegate of this country, delegate of country A wants to raise a point of parliamentary inquiry regarding, suppose the raising of the motion for the moderated caucus. So they can just raise a placard, get recognized by the chair, and put forward that the delegate of country A wants to raise a point of parliamentary inquiry, and the parliamentary and it being then the doubt. So if any one of you is getting, if you think maybe I'm not really confident about the working of the like this part of the working of the conference, this rule, you can just raise your point of parliamentary inquiry, and we'll always like answer your question. Okay, do not hesitate to raise the point of parliamentary inquiry ever. You can always raise it at like how many times you want. Okay, regarding any doubt you have of the rules of procedure during the working of the conference, you can just raise the point. Okay, but you cannot interrupt the delegate who is speaking. Suppose the delegate of country A wants to raise the point while the delegate of country B is speaking. But the delegate of country A cannot speak while the delegate of country B is speaking. After the speech is completed, then the delegate of country A will be recognized by the chair, and then they will be putting forward their point. Is it clear, everybody? Guys,
Yes.
is it clear? Sure. Acha, the next point, the point of personal privilege. A request by a delegate regarding matters that affect and impairs them from fully participating in council activities. It can be raised anytime, only if it is not interrupting the speaker. For example, any delegate is feeling sick, okay, or wants to use the restroom, you can just use the point of personal privilege. The delegate of country A wants to raise the point of personal privilege, it being then the yeah then your statement. So okay, and it is the same as the parliamentary inquiry. You cannot interrupt the delegate who is speaking. After the speech is completed, you will be recognized by the chair, and then you will put forward your point. Okay, is it clear?
Okay. Uh, are we supposed to
I
use
can see
the
only one of. Yes. Yes.
are we supposed to use the point of
Yes.
privilege during during the convenience of uh, the MUN?
Yeah, मतलब कि except कि unmod के time you can use the point of personal privilege anytime during the mod, during the general speakers list. Okay, you can always use that.
Okay.
The point of privilege, you can raise your points except the unmods, because during the unmod we won't be present. Okay. Okay. Also, I'm seeing only one of you guys are responding. Am I audible to everybody? Is my question right now. You guys are understanding what I'm saying, right? Like, I don't really want any one of you to
Yes,
have
yes, you're
any doubt.
audible.
Yeah.
प्लीज एक थम्स अप दे देना हम
Guys,
लोगों को, इतना तो
responding. Okay,
पता
we
चल
need
रहा है.
engagement.
या थम्स अप दे देना.
Uh,
Can you tell me once again the point of parliamentary
okay.
inquiry?
Sure. So the whole rules of procedure, right? The whole working of the conference, starting from the roll call, setting up the agenda, GSL, mod, the unmod, anything. Okay. So if you have any doubt, okay, regarding the rules, okay, like suppose the difference between the present voting, the raising of the motions, the raising of the points, you can always raise the point of parliamentary inquiry. You will raise a placard. If a delegate is speaking, after the speech is completed, the chair will recognize you, the delegate of suppose country A, and then the delegate of country A will see कि the delegate of country A has wants to raise a point of parliamentary inquiry. It being then your doubt. Okay, any doubt that you have about the whole working, the whole procedure of the conference. Okay, any doubt about the raising motions here, the setting of the agenda, the statements. Okay, and either Racheta or I, either of us will be explaining you the rules again. Okay, so this is the use of the parliamentary inquiry to basically like get your doubts clarified about the working of the working of the conference, the procedure of the conference. Okay, so
Thank you.
I hope it is clear. Okay.
Yes, it's clear. Thank
So
you.
the
Yes.
next point is the point of order. A point raised by a delegate whenever the rules of procedure are not properly observed by a delegate or by the chairs. Like, of course, this whole complicated, like this whole thing is like very complicated, and like mistakes happen. Of course, mistakes can happen by you, by us, by anybody. So like if you think that one of the delegates is not doing something right according to the rules of procedure, you can just raise the point of order that the delegate of country A wants to raise the point of order, and it being the delegate of this country or the chair did this, like the rules, like this was supposed to be this but they did this, like is it correct or not? So that is the thing. But like only if you're sure that the rules of procedures are not being maintained, then you can raise the point. And again, you cannot interrupt this delegate who is speaking. This is the basic thing of the MUN. You cannot, you like never ever like interrupt the delegate who is speaking. They finish the speech and only then you can raise your point. Okay, and this is like the first thing that like this is like the one of the like the most important things of the MUN decorum. And okay, the next is the point of information. The point raised helps in questioning any delegate on the basis of this speech. It cannot interrupt the speaker. Again, the point of information is basically asking questions. Okay, suppose the delegate of this suppose what do I say, the delegate of country A wants to raise the point of information. Okay, these get recognized by the chair, and then they come up and see the delegate of country A wants to raise this country of so sorry, the delegate of country A wants to raise this point of information, uh, and then they ask another delegate, the delegate of country B, and then your question. Okay, you so like suppose delegate of country C is speaking and delegate of country A wants to ask delegate of country B, and you can raise a point. It does not have to be that you want to be asking questions only to the delegate who is speaking. You can be any delegate regarding or like on the basis of this speech. Your questions can be on the basis of the speech of any delegate. Okay, it is not supposed to be कि तुमसे जो delegate like give speech तुमसे questions पूछ रहे हो. It may not be. अगर suppose में से और delegates questions पूछना है, so you can just ask that delegate. So this is the point of information. You are asking questions to any delegate that is present in the conference regarding the speech that they are giving. Okay. Yeah. Now, right to reply can only be used if the personal integrity of the delegate or the nation has been shunned. It may not interrupt the speaker, but should be raised as soon as the speech is finished. Like the right to reply is like this very like serious thing. Suppose suppose the delegate of country A in this speech says something. What do I say? Like very insulting about the delegate of country B, like which is not at all like related to the issue or the agenda in hand, but like it's just like poke fun at the delegate of like not the delegate or maybe the country as a whole. So then you can raise your right to reply if you feel like your like your personal integrity or that of your nation has been like trampled upon. You can just raise the right to reply and then put forward your point.
Uh,
This has yes, is
uh,
someone
just like
speaking?
in- just like in the 2021 August, we heard that India had practiced lie to reply against Pakistan regarding the Kashmir issue.
Yeah, exactly that, exactly that. So it was like a 10 minutes whole thing, right? But like you won't be getting that much of time. You can write only 30 seconds or like 40 seconds, but you need to put your point in a concise manner. Okay, do not stretch this.
Just a
But
second,
let's move
Sharanya.
forward in a concise
Sharanya,
manner.
could you pause for a second? I'm so sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt, but Rachata, I would like to confirm that is there some network
It's
error in
okay. It's okay.
Sharanya, like with Sharanya, because I think her audio is getting disrupted,
I guess.
right? So Sharanya, could you like rejoin the meeting? The last 2 minutes, whatever you said was not
Yeah.
really clear.
Just
We
wait.
missed
Okay.
out. Yeah, Rachata, you can continue till
Sure.
she
Sure.
joins, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, as Aritra said, the delegate of Ukraine said that the right to reply is a very brave thing and it happens only when the integrity. I'll give you an example. Okay, don't do this. Don't do this. Like don't question the integrity of a nation. Don't do this, but I'll give you an example. For example, Ankita is the delegate of USA and I'm the delegate of India. And something happens, she says something in the speech, and when she has the time to eat, she yields the time to the floor. And I am the first one to be recognized by the chair. So I ask her a question and I go like, USA is very bad country. Nobody wants to go there. Everyone like हर जगह बस मारपीट होता है, murder होता रहता है. ऐसा. That is literally questioning the integrity of her country. That is very, insulting towards her country. So do not go for that points. Also, do not go for personal points. Okay, ऐसा मत बोलने जाओ अंकिता तुम तो चीटिंग करती थी तुम कैसे इधर आ गई बोलने ये सब बोलने मत जाओ ठीक है this is not allowed. Okay, that is when right to reply comes, and if you are doing this, we'll take action. Okay. Okay. So after this, she has stopped sharing the screen too. So
I think until she joins, we can take any doubts if there are.
yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead
you
for
guys
your
go ahead
doubts.
and ask whatever it is that you
Yeah.
could not understand till now. We'll be clearing all of it out.
If anything you want us to repeat that, go
Yeah,
ahead
that
for
also
that.
we'll be doing.
We'll repeat that.
The recognition by GSL point, please repeat.
Okay, okay. So I get it. I get it. You all got confused. So जो roll call होगा ना, roll call present and present voting, meeting के एकदम starting में, जैसे classroom में आप लोग घुसते हो, तो तब क्या करती है क्लास टीचर पूछती है ना roll number 1 is present, roll number 2 is present. Same thing for हमारी committee. We also need to know ना कि कौन कौन present है, कौन कौन नहीं present है, right? So we'll do the roll call. There you know you have to go for present or present and voting. Please go for present and voting because then you'll be present in the like mentally present in the conference and you'll be speaking. और present में सिर्फ कुछ नहीं करना है बैठे रहना है बैठने तो नहीं आए ना बात करने आए solutions निकालने आए. So we'll do that. And yeah, that is how the roll call ends. Now, being recognized by the GSL is same as being recognized in all the raising any motion. GSL का motion raise करना है, agenda raise करना है, या फिर moderated caucus का raise करना है, या unmod का raise करना है, या DR का raise करना है. सबका एक ही ये है. जो तुम लोग के पास फ्लैग कार्ड्स रहेंगे, हम लोग रख देंगे बेंचेस में, डेस्क में रख देंगे हर एक कंट्री का. ठीक है, तो सोचो कि तुम आदित्य तुम यूक्रेन हो और मैं रशिया हूँ, तो मैंने पहले फ्लैग कार्ड रेस किया है, तुमने उसके थोड़ी देर बाद, तो चेयर ने मेरे को पहले देखा, आई गेट रेकग्नाइज्ड. दैट्स ऑल. फ्लैग कार्ड रेस करना है, जिसको पहले देखेंगे उसको. और ये भी बात है कि अगर देखो एक डेलीगेट ने 2 बार पहले ही फ्लैग कार्ड रेस किया तो विल नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज, क्योंकि हर सबको चांस देना है ना, तो इसलिए विल गिव द चांस टू सम अदर डेलीगेट हु हैज रेस्ड आफ्टर दैट. दैट्स ऑल. बस फ्लैग कार्ड रेस करना है, रिकॉग्निशन विल डू इट, nothing more. Yeah, I guess Sharanya is back, so she can start sharing.
Guys, am I audible right now?
Yeah.
Am I like perfectly audible? Like is
Yeah.
Your video is
my
lagging
voice
behind
getting
थोड़ा
cracked
सा,
at any
like
point?
थोड़ा सा lagging behind.
Your mic is all right, but your video is lagging.
And maybe I अच्छा video off कर दें. Maybe like
Yeah,
that
do
is
it.
this.
Yeah,
So I like
if it helps,
turn
then
off
you
my
can.
camera later because like maybe sure. Okay, so where was I? Okay, I was explaining the right to reply, right? So is anyone having any doubt regarding the right to reply? Or maybe should I just repeat every point, like the whole points thing? Should I just do that, delegates? So I'll just explain.
Yeah, just repeat everything.
Yeah, sure. So the point of parliamentary inquiry. So the whole complicated, the rules of procedure is like very complicated, and if any one of you is having any doubt regarding the working, you can just raise your point of parliamentary inquiry. So suppose the delegate of country A is speaking, and the delegate of country B wants to raise a point of parliamentary inquiry. After the delegate of country A has finished the speech, the delegate of country B will be recognized by the chair, and they can raise their point key. The delegate of country B wants to raise this point of parliamentary inquiry. It B, then your doubt. It can be anything, any small doubt regarding any rule of the whole working of the conference. It you can ask it. Okay, you can ask it at any point, like any given point, and on the day of the conference, and like either Racheta or I will be answering those. Okay. The point of personal privilege, a request by a delegate regarding matters that affect and impairs them from fully participating in council activities. It can be raised anytime, only if it is not interrupting the speaker. Suppose any instant, any delegate is like feeling sick or like feels the need of using the restroom, they can just raise the point of personal privilege. The delegate of this country wants to raise the point of personal privilege, and it being okay. Then your statement. So, if any one of you feels sick or like wants to use the restroom during the working of the conference, during the GFL, during the mods, like except the unmods. Okay. Acha, I've been adding this point कि during the unmods, try not to use your time like in going to the restrooms and all, because that is the most crucial time when you'll be forming your like potential alliances. You can of course if you feel the need to use the restroom, but like try not to. That is like advice from my side. Okay, so does anyone of you have any doubt regarding the point of parliamentary inquiry and personal privilege? Any doubt? Guys, am I not audible again?
You are audible. There are no doubts, I guess.
Okay. Delegates, you need to respond even if you have no doubts.
You guys need to ask questions, okay? Don't be intimidated or anything. That's like completely interactive. Ask whatever you cannot
Go ahead.
understand. We'll repeat and go over again.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to
Also-
unmute and speak, write it in the chat box. We'll reply. No problem.
Also, you can speak in any language you want, and you'll see us talking to you in Hindi and everything.
हिंदी
So go
बंगाली
ahead,
इंग्लिश जो
ask
भी
out.
हाँ जिसमें भी बोलना है बस बोलते रहो.
हाँ.
हाँ.
I would like to say that, are you guys taking notes or something? Because you should if you're not. Like whatever is being discussed, if you think you need to remember it, take the notes. Basically, mostly of the procedure and the sequence in which it will go on, because you will forget this. So try to take notes of whatever is being discussed. You will need this later
We were
on.
also delegates the last year, and we remember how confusing
Yeah, we remember
it
we
was.
missed everything out and had to call everyone again to explain everything. So
Yes,
try to
we
keep
had
notes.
like
We will help you out,
yeah.
but still, try to keep notes.
We understand like ये बहुत complicated है ये this like whole thing, but
This is basic formality.
Yeah.
तुम लोग को बस ये formality
Yeah.
करना पड़ेगा वहाँ पे अपने आप को present करने के लिए. Basic everything will matter on your research only.
Yeah.
How well
Speech,
informed you are.
हाँ. तो स्पीच जो बोलोगे ना वो लिख के लाना,
सब
वो
देख
याद
के
भी नहीं
बोलना।
करना, वो याद भी नहीं
Yeah.
करना है, एकदम देख के बोलोगे. ओके
It-
सो
it-
उसका
it
टेंशन
depends
मत
on
लो. हाँ बस अच्छे से रिसर्च करो. रिसर्च इज what will make you a good delegate. बस रिसर्च
And
पे ध्यान
if you
दो.
miss something out, like if you're missing some step or if you're messing up a sentence on the day of the event, it will not be an issue. EB will be correcting you then and there, and you can just say the right thing after that. So it's not like कुछ नहीं दिखेगा कुछ हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
बस
Brief
टेंशन
में
मत
we'll
लो.
be guiding you through the whole procedure. पूरे procedure में हम लोग रहेंगे. We'll be there in every step of the way. We'll be guiding you everywhere. So do not get intimidated by this. Just try to remember certain things. And if you make a mistake, of course, we'll be correcting you. But yeah,
And
there are
ask
no marks
question,
on
guys.
just the-
Interaction बहुत matter करता है. Till the day of the event, the amount of interaction you have, not just with the EB but with other delegates also, will have a great effect on your meeting and your conference.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yes, go on.
can you please send this PDF or thing to the WhatsApp group, because it
We
will
will
be-
send
Yeah,
it in
we
the group, but keep your own notes, in your own words, whatever you are understanding. That will obviously be different and better than the slides for you. But we'll
I
check
guess
this thing.
a delegate of Pakistan wanted to say something. Please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Can you just brief GSL once more? I got a bit confused about that.
Oh, okay. Should I do it right now? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
go
you
on.
can do it whenever you're comfortable. It's
Okay.
not a big deal.
I'm gonna do it right now. So yeah,
Okay.
the GSL or the general speakers list is basically ये समझ लो कि intro speech है तुम्हारा. तुम जो introduction दे रही हो ना, तुम्हारा country का stance बता रही हो तुम कि मेरे country ने अफगानिस्तान के लिए ये किया, मेरे country ने इतने decades से ये किया, पूरा history, past, like past, present, and maybe if you have any future perspectives, discuss that. All the strong points. This is where you're introducing yourself. Okay, and it is very important that your introduction is strong, okay, so that it's going to help you in the later stages of the debate. So it is an introductory speech. Okay, you can see that apart from all the caucuses and everything we have, this one has the most time, 90 seconds. So 90 seconds ka time mil raha hai, so make a speech in that, a good one, and say that. It's just the introductory speech.
Thank you. I got it.
Yeah. Any other questions, delegates? Regarding anything, we'll repeat if you want us to repeat. It's fine.
If we want to ask for help from you guys regarding some matter in research, can we ask?
Yeah, of
Uh,
course. Of course. We have our WhatsApp.
We're
We'll provide you
available
actually
at
the
any
basic
point of
like
time.
way you have to proceed with the research.
Hmm.
We are
You have
we are
like
available
And
at any
also,
point of
like,
time.
we are doing our own research. Yeah, like, see, we are doing our research as well. So if we find कि तुम लोग को कुछ काम आएगा, we will send you guys without asking as well. That's not
but
an issue. We'll
anyway,
help you through the research also.
personally, all of you might want to say something that you
हाँ,
might
text
not want
us.
to discuss
Not an
in the
issue.
group. That we understand that. So yeah, you're feel free to text us anytime that you want. We'll be answering.
Rachita, Saranya have yielding the time
No,
been
we'll just
Yeah.
explained? Like, has
explain
it?
yielding after this, just after the points.
Okay,
I'll just do
okay.
it right now.
We explained it in brief. We'll explain it after. Yeah.
All right.
So now yielding of time. This is like very important for you guys. Okay. And what basically is yielding of time? So like Rochita and I explained, ki, yielding is basically like you will choose how to use the remaining of time. Suppose the time for each speaker for the mod is 60 seconds, right? So like if any one of you so, like, if any one of you, suppose completes the speech within 40 seconds, say, then you will have 20 seconds remaining, right? Then you can choose how to, like, use those 20 seconds. No. So, like, how can I yield your time? It can be done in three ways: yield to the chair, yield to the floor, and yield to another delegate. So, yield to the chair is basically you will be inquired by the chairs. So, like, if you yield your remaining time to the chairs, Rochoita and I will be questioning you on the basis of your speech. We'll be asking you questions on the basis of what you have spoken, yes, and the facts that you have put forward. And the yield to the floor is exactly the same thing, except the questions will be asked by your fellow delegates and not by Rochoita and I. We won't be asking questions, but your fellow delegates will be. Okay, suppose the delegate of country A wants to yield their time to the floor, and the rest of so once they've yielded their time to the floor, the rest of the delegate will be asking the questions one by one, of course. And delegate of country B asks delegate of country A one question, and delegate of country A gives an answer to that, and there's this follow up. So, like, this is this debate, right? So, guys, yes, MUN is a debate. If you want to if you want to participate in a debate among your delegates, please yield your time to the floor. Of course, you can yield your time to the chair, but like there won't be any debate sort of thing. But like I understand that some of you guys have debated, and like it's a very exciting thing, right? So if you want to participate in a debate, try to yield your time to the floor. Like this is a personal advice from my side. And yield to another delegate. You might yield your time to another delegate who could not complete their speech within the time limit. It is generally given to the allies. Suppose you have 20 seconds remaining and you want to yield it to another delegate. So, suppose the delegate of country A yields their time to delegate of country B. So, that remaining 20 seconds gets added to the whole speaking time of delegate of country B. So, उस delegate of country B के पास already 60 seconds था, and you're adding another 20 seconds to that like the whole 60 seconds of the delegate of country B. So this is what the yield to another delegate is. So you basically give the whole of 20 seconds to another delegate and add that to that speaking time. And this is on the yielding thing is only applicable to the mods. Okay, not during the GSL, not during the unmod. Only during the moderated caucuses is when you will be yielding your time. Is it clear? Delegates, is it clear? The whole yielding.
Yes, Shani.
Yes.
Didi.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and now we come to chits. Chits, okay. Chits is like very important. Suppose you're having this debate between delegate A and delegate B, okay, and delegate A and delegate B have been doing follow up questions like delegate A को पूछ रहा है, delegate A आंसर दे रहा है, okay, then delegate B फिर से पूछना चाह रहा है, लेकिन suppose the chair thinks कि time उतना नहीं है, तो the delegates can continue their communication through chats. Okay, they will be submitted. They are submitted via EB on the following grounds: POI, that is the point of information, replying, lobbying. So lobbying, I've already explained. Ki lobbying is basically forming alliances and like interacting with other delegates. So if you want to ask questions, okay, हाँ तो लाइक फॉलो अप्स ना, डेलीगेट ए और डेलीगेट बी डिबेट कर रहे थे और चेयर्स ने लाइक कहा कि यू लाइक कंटिन्यू दैट वाया चेयर्स. So like delegate B is putting the question to delegate A through chairs. Delegates, chairs is like this best way to continue a communication or a debates. Okay, you want to put forward questions to any delegate in the room, do that via chat. You want to reply to the question, do that via chat. You want to form an alliance during the speech, like regarding the speech of any delegate, do that via chat. Chats are like this basic foundation of your whole alliance without interrupting any speaker. लाइक चिट्स पास हो रहा है ना, तो कोई स्पीकर बोल रहा है और चिट्स पास हो रहा है, तो उस स्पीकर को तो इंटरप्शन नहीं हो रहा है ना. सो दिस इज व्हाट चिट्स आर. यू कैन like go on with your conversation, like of course useful conversation, like without interrupting the speaker. There will be OC members present in the room. The OC is the organizing committee. There will be OC members present in the room. You can just motion to any one of them, like gesture to any one of them, and they will come to you, and you can pass the chit to them, and the chits will come to us. We will just एक बार देख लेंगे कि कुछ unnecessary तो नहीं है. Then that will go to that check will go to another recipient delegate to another OC member or maybe the same OC member. So basically delegate A delegate B को चेक भेजना चाहता है. Okay, so procedure क्या है? Delegate A OC member को बुलाता है, चेक देता है उसे, वो OC member हम EB के पास वो चेक लेके आता है, and we we don't really evaluate the check, but yeah, फिर वो चिट OC member के through it goes to the recipient delegate. So this is the basic working of the whole chit thing. Okay, the going and coming of the chits. And please remember to use the chits. Like the chits are very very important while like forming your alliances and keeping your questions. Okay, because the points and replies that you put forward in your chats can later be used during forming your like dias and like finding potential allies. And like this is the basic format of the chat to the delegate, from the delegate and via the executive board. And now the paperwork. From here, Rachweta will be taking forward.
Please, can you please show the format of the cheat once again?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. If any one of you wants to, they can take screenshots and yeah. Also, does any one of you have any doubt regarding the whole chip, the note passing thing? Guys, respond.
No,
Oh,
thumbs up तो दे दो
no.
यार, thumbs up तो दे दो. Thumbs up या thumbs down? Thumbs down मतलब पता चलेगा नहीं समझ में आया, thumbs up मतलब पता चलेगा. Okay?
अरे
Yeah.
वाह वाह, nice 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 nice, great. चलो,
Oh,
400 मिल गए.
बहुत
5.
ज्यादा मिल
बहुत सही. चलो, एकदम एकदम, और भी आएंगे बाद में.
और भी आएंगे.
So I guess none of you have any doubt regarding the whole anything that has been discussed till now. Okay, don't worry, we'll be explaining the whole thing in brief again. Okay, so let's go to the paperwork. Rachita, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the paperwork. Now we are coming to the paperwork section of the company. So now most of the paperwork is gonna happen after the first session. Okay. So after the first session is over, we'll have the paperwork. What is the paperwork? You know that after like every conference, a certain kind of paper comes out. There's a solution, right? We need to draft a solution. क्यों बात कर रहे हैं हम इधर किसी problem को लेकर उसका solution निकालने, right? So yeah, so we'll start with the paperwork. The most important paperwork in the whole committee is the draft resolution. What is the draft resolution? It is a document which sums up the committee's proceedings and states a proposed solution to the issue at hand. It is supposed to express the viewpoints of the nations grouped as a block, writing and signing it. Writing a DR has its own set of rules and a specific tone to adhere to it. It must have a minimum number of signatories who support it and will vote in favor of it once the debate has ended. The delegate raising the motion to introduce the draft resolution shall do the same with the same sentence. The delegate of your portfolio, for example, the delegate of India, would like to raise the motion to discuss the draft resolution with the total time being uh, how much minutes you need. Okay. While you're deciding the time for the draft resolution, please keep this in mind that you'll be reading out the whole draft resolution, which will be a long document, and you'll also have to explain it. Because you have to explain it, right? You have to gain votes. How do you gain votes? You cannot just read one document and tell, please vote for me. You won't. Why would a country vote for you? That way. So you have to do that. Operative clauses are then read and explained on which the other delegates can ask for amendment. Now I'll go on the I'll explain it in brief कि कैसा होता है draft resolution. So basically पहले ही बोल दिया कि draft resolution is kind of your solution, all the points that you collected in the first, in the moderated caucuses, in the unmoderated caucus, and also in the GSL, all the points that you collected. So how is the draft resolution drafted? First, we'll have two signatories. This year we decided that maximum we'll keep three draft resolution और उन तीनों के बीच में ही voting होगा. हर कमिटी में मतलब हमारे कमिटी में 3 ड्राफ्ट रेजोल्यूशंस होंगे मैक्सिमम और मिनिमम 2 होना है. ठीक है. So there will be three draft resolutions and there will be two authors to the draft resolution. Think of the draft resolution as a book. Okay. And the authors are the people writing it. You'll, the authors who are voluntarily wanting to draft the resolution, you'll have to jot down every point. You'll have to pay very close attention to the speeches that the delegates are saying. You'll have to pay close attention to the chits, to the questions that are being asked, everything and the lobbying. One more important thing, why I'm, concentrating on the draft resolution or putting more emphasis on the resolution, it is because for MUN, every committee has the best delegate. That means the person who won the first prize, the high recommendation, and the third prize. Okay. So we have three prizes. Mostly what happens, the people who come up for the draft resolution, they get these prizes because the draft resolution has a lot of marks. So you have to try to be the ones who are drafting the resolution. Try to come up. Okay, it's a huge responsibility, but also it gains you marks to do that. Apart from that, I already told you that the draft resolution will have operative clauses in this. We'll send you the whole format of the draft resolution. Don't worry about that. We'll explain the format. We'll send you the format, everything. The people who will be wanting to draft the resolution. Okay, before you draft the resolution, as already said by Sharanya, you'll be lobbying in the group. You'll be talking to each other. You'll be interacting in the group, and I know as well as you'll also be interacting with each other. So come to know about which delegates you want to draft the resolution with. Try to form groups. What is a block? A block is a group. Okay, here I'll start explaining the block now. So what is a block? A block is a group of delegates who sit together and who vote in favor of a draft resolution. As I said, there will be three draft resolutions, so there can be three blocks. Okay. The people who are in one block can be in the other blocks too, because at the end of the day, the draft resolution is a document which represents the whole committee. So you can be in different blocks. For example, let's say that there are three draft resolution A, B, and C. So the delegate of India can be in the block of A, can be in the block of B, and can also be in the block of C. They can be in all the blocks, but they only get to vote for one. So it is very important and necessary that when you're explaining the draft resolution, you take a lot of time to explain it, explain each and every clause. Make sure that all the delegates feel that they have been heard, their points have been heard, and they have been included in the draft resolution. To the people who want to become the authors of the draft resolution, make sure that you're putting all the points. Just don't put your points. Like मेरे country ने ये किया है तो ये points I'll put. No, put all the points if you want your draft resolution to win. Okay. So that way you have to, we'll be sending you the formats as I told earlier. We'll be sending you everything about the draft resolution. So it is very important, as Sharanya told early, that you should start lobbying right now. This is why unmod is also important. Also, I think by the first or the second speakers list, the general speakers list, and after the second moderated process, you'll get to know which delegates you want to form the draft resolution with. So talk with them. We'll be having break times. We'll be having unmoderated process. So talk with them, negotiate with them. Go friendly manner से थोड़ा उनके साथ बात करो and form a team, like become authors or something like that. Form a team, and then you should go on to draft the draft resolution. One
How
more thing. Yeah.
how many
Somebody was
co-authors can be there in draft resolution?
two,
Okay.
two for each.
Excuse me, can you repeat this point again?
Which one?
The thing you just now talking about. I actually got disconnected.
Draft resolution ka pura point.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I'll explain it in brief. The draft resolution is actually the main document of the committee. Okay. Why are we here in this committee? Let's ask ourselves, why are we here in this committee? We are here in this committee because there is a problem going on in Afghanistan. We have selected that as an agenda. अगर प्रॉब्लम है तो ऑफकोर्स व्हाई आर वी हियर, इस प्रॉब्लम पर बात करने नहीं, सॉल्यूशंस निकालने, राइट? सॉल्यूशंस निकालने, रिक्वेस्ट दी अदर कंट्रीज कि तुम प्लीज ये कर लो, जिस कंट्री में जो कमी है तो तुम प्लीज ये कर लो, तुम प्लीज वो कर लो, तुम ये कर लो, तुम उधर फंड्स डाल दो, तुम थोड़ा इधर जगह बना लो रेफ्यूजीज के लिए, राइट? So these are the solutions. So how will we know how will the us everyone know that this committee has found out solutions to this? How will they know that? You'll be making a document. उसमें तुम solutions लिखोगे. This is simple. Problem है एक और draft resolution is the document for solutions. Okay. So in that I told you. So in order to make the draft resolution, there will be two authors each. This year we are thinking of having three draft resolutions, and last में voting होगा. We'll select the delegates, not us. We don't have the right to select the draft resolution. The delegates will vote for it, and whichever draft resolution gets the most votes will be selected as the draft resolution of the committee. Okay. So for that you need important things. Sharanya, could you go to the next slide so that I can explain to them the important terms?
Yeah, also, I want to add one more point. Like, can I just do it?
Yeah.
Achha. Guys, your DR will actually reflect how good of a research you have done. Okay, like how well you have understood and read through your country's workings. Because agar सपोज अगर मैं अच्छे से रिसर्च नहीं करूंगी मेरे कंट्री के बारे में, लाइक मेरे कंट्री ने क्या किया है इस इशू के बारे में, देन I cannot really form a good draft resolution that will get votes. Okay, so in order to create and write a good votable draft resolution that will get the approval of the committee, you need to do your research well, and you need to actually study and understand how your country's policies work and your country's history with the agenda. So I want to emphasize on the point that research अच्छे से करो if you want to write a good DR. Okay. Yeah.
In order to be the best delegate, why are you writing the DR? Let's come to the point. To be the best delegate, right? सबको best delegate तो बनना है ना. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि ऐसे बैठे रहना है. बनना है. First आना है, right? So in order to be the best delegate, you must have two qualities. One, you must be you should be speaking good speaker. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि correct tenses, grammatical errors नहीं हो. नहीं. Good speaker means that everybody listens to you. What you speak is up to the point. What you're telling is a good point. Okay. Just ऐसे ही नहीं कि कोई भी point बोल दिया. And secondly, you must be a good listener. कि सुनो सबका points. What are those countries telling? What are these countries telling? ये क्या दोनों, like if two countries are having a question answer round, like I said, COI, इससे, so what are they discussing about? Listen to those. Okay. So now we'll come to the important terminologies related to the draft resolution. Sponsors, who are sponsors, they express full support for the draft resolution. Sponsors are often the co-authors of the draft resolution and are required to vote in favor of it. Okay. So who are sponsors? जैसे कि मैंने बोला कि take of draft resolution as a book. So sponsors are the authors. So of course, if you're the author, you'll be supporting your draft resolution, right? दूसरे draft resolution में जाकर तुम vote नहीं करो. You want yours to. So those are sponsors. We'll be having two sponsors, and they'll be jotting down all the points of the, like, whoever the two sponsors are. We won't be selecting that. You guys, तुम्हारे ऊपर डिसीजन है, तुमको जिसको भी बनना है स्पॉन्सर. 3 ड्राफ्ट रेजोल्यूशन रहेंगे, बन जाना, but you have to jot down all the points and everything. Apart from that, we have signatories. They support to enter a discussion regarding the draft resolution or amend, but may not support the resolution or amendment itself. Signatories are not bound to vote in favor of the resolution. So yeah, as I said, कि blocks में जो countries रहेंगे, so हर country तो sponsor नहीं है, तो जो countries रहेंगे, they'll support the the motion for discussion of a draft resolution, and they'll also support a motion for amending the draft resolution. But it is totally dependent on them कि उनको उस draft resolution में vote करना है कि नहीं करना है. Okay, it's totally dependent on you. So be wise in what you're voting. Signatories का भी बहुत बड़ा role है. A draft resolution can fail or a draft resolution can pass depending on how the signatories react to it. So the sponsors who want to be sponsors, people who want to be sponsors, please take care that when you're explaining your draft resolution, explain it with all your knowledge and everything that you have in you. Apart from that, we come to block. It is a group of delegates working on the draft resolution together. As I told you that there will be blocks, there will be groups forming. वो तुम लोग अभी से start कर दो forming. If you have decided, like I have explained the draft resolution, कोई doubt होगा तो अभी पूछ लो, and decide if you want to be sponsored or not. Decide that. Group सभी से मतलब ऐसा मत बनाओ कि अभी तुम मेरे ग्रुप में आ जाना, ये बात करना, बट हाँ आपस में बात कर सकते हो. डेलीगेट टू डेलीगेट, एक डेलीगेट दूसरे डेलीगेट के साथ बात भी कर सकता है. ओके, सो आपस में you all can talk and you all can sort that out. And yeah, in the unmod, make sure that you're talking about the draft resolution and also kind of inform us. Unmod में unmod हो जाने के बाद inform us कि like chairs, this, like for example, if India and Pakistan want to make a draft resolution, sponsors have. So just inform the whole committee together that India and Pakistan have formed an alliance and they want to draft a resolution together. Please join our block. To all the committee members. तो वो लोग उनको लगेगा अच्छा तो वो ज्वाइन करेंगे. But I would request all the countries to please join the block. Like blocks, so that you can know कि उस draft resolution में क्या चल रहा है, दूसरे draft resolution में क्या चल रहा है, तीसरे में क्या चल रहा है. तो तुमको पहले ही डिसाइड करने का मौका मिल जाएगा. बाय चांस कमिटी में जब तुम लोग सेकेंड डे में आए हो और उतना अटेंशन नहीं रहा तो फिर भी तुमको पता चलेगा कि क्या क्या चीज तुमको अच्छा लगा नहीं लगा एंड यू कैन वोट अकॉर्डिंगली. Next, we'll come to the amendments. So, what are amendments? Amendments are actually corrections or additions to the draft resolution. ठीक है. Think कि अब voting हो गया एक draft resolution में और उसके बाद still you think कि no, we need to add something to the draft resolution, or even before the voting when the draft resolution is being discussed. A discuss हो रहा है and you feel like हाँ A ने ये point नहीं डाला है but it is important. We need to put that point there. So go ahead and say that like the delegate of India wants to amend to add this or delete this. If you feel that any of the points in the draft resolution is not necessary, you can, put out a proposal to delete that part. And if all the delegates and every signatories and everyone agree, then we'll be deleting it. If they don't agree, then we'll not be doing it. Okay. So there are two kinds of amendments: friendly amendment and unfriendly amendment. A friendly amendment is an amendment that has all the DR sponsors support. It automatically becomes the part of the DR without any vote. अगर सारे sponsors का support हुआ, तो it becomes automatically a part of the DR. Vote करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Unfriendly amendment, any amendment that has at least one of the DR sponsors disagrees with. These are voted by the majority to be added in the DR. So ऐसा हुआ कि I guess UK ने बोला कि I want to add this. And one of the sponsors, for example, Pakistan says, no, I don't want to add this because we already have some points that are relating to this. But the other sponsor says that yes, we can add this. I think we should add this. What happens then? We do a voting. सारा जितने भी countries बाकी हैं, वो सारे लोग vote करेंगे. And if it passes, then it becomes a part of the DR. If it doesn't pass, then of course it will not become a part of the DR. I hope you get what amendments are. Like simply यही सोच लो कि corrections and deletions from the draft resolution. Because after all, जो भी draft resolution select होगा, it's not going to represent only those two sponsors. It's going to represent each and every country present in the committee. So please, yeah, do that. One more thing before you do the amendment, that there is a limitation to the number of amendments that can happen on the DR, like the draft resolution of the committee. I think it's 7. So do not cross that, because if you cross that, what happens is that the DR gets cancelled, and that means that committee gets cancelled. So किसी को prize वाइज तो नहीं मिलेगा, उसके ऊपर से committee cancel हो जाएगा. तो वो मत करवाना please. So take care of those. And also you'll be there, like जब हम लोग ब्लॉग बना रहे हैं ना, जब जो स्पॉन्सर्स है वो ब्लॉग बनाएंगे, वो एक सेपरेट सा ग्रुप भी बनाएंगे जिसमें ऑफ कोर्स me and Sharanya will be there in every group, but you all also will be there. So you can tell them then कि ये थोड़ा ऐड कर दो, ये थोड़ा शायद से नहीं है, ये ऐड कर दो. You can help them out, because what is a draft resolution after all? A document for the whole committee. Remember that you are not, when you're working on the draft resolution, you're not working as a single individual. You're working as a team. So you have to make the team win. So please, take care of that. Okay, then we'll go to the next slide. Oh wait, does anyone have a question or anything regarding the draft resolution? Do you want me to repeat anything? I'll repeat it again. Thumbs up hai ya thumbs down hai, guys? Thumbs up hai?
So एक thumbs up.
Aa rahe.
3
aa
thumbs
rahe,
up.
Sharanya.
Aa rahe. Yes.
Any doubt? No? Okay, very good. We have good
Nice,
delegates. They
nice.
understand
Nice.
everything so fast. So intelligent. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll pass the mic on to Sharanya. She'll go for the lobbying part.
Okay. So lobbying, like we have explained again, like number of times what lobbying is. So again, I'll just read it for the sake of formality. So lobbying is extremely necessary if you want to form strong alliances. Okay, alliances will reflect how good your DR is. If your alliance is not strong, if you're not working together well enough, तो डीआर उतना स्ट्रांग नहीं होगा, डीआर एक्सेप्ट भी नहीं होगा, फिर गया तुम्हारे हाथ से बेस्ट डेलीगेट का अवार्ड. तो अलायंस स्ट्रांग होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Delegates will have the opportunity to take the resolutions to other delegates and try and gain support for the ideas. जैसे कि मैंने बोला था कि अनमोड के टाइम, ब्रेक के टाइम, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स में, okay, share your ideas and opinions about the issues and what the possible solutions that you can deduce. Okay, so this is what basically lobbying is: sharing of opinions and ideas to like reach or like propose solution what you think of that can help the issue. Okay, humanitarian and refugee crisis है, हम क्या कर सकते हैं उसके बारे में, हमारा कंट्री क्या कर सकता है उसके बारे में, that is what lobbying is. Okay, you form groups and like then form solutions. This also provides a chance for delegates to break the ice and locate political allies and identify those with who share similar goals. Again, okay, communicate करो other delegates के साथ, allies ढूंढो. Okay, goals किन किस एक like similar views कौन 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 country के हैं, ठीक है, delegates कौन कौन से हैं जिनके जिनके साथ you like share your opinions. Like you need to search them and form alliances. Okay, because alliances again, the how strong your alliances are will reflect in your DR. Okay, and lobbying can take place anytime leading up to the day of conference and even on the day itself. Okay, so after this session ends, okay, we'll be starting on the topics for the moderated caucuses. जैसे कि मैंने बताया था कि सब टॉपिक्स है ना, इतना बड़ा टॉपिक है ह्यूमैनिटेरियन रेफ्यूजी क्राइसिस इन अफगानिस्तान, इतना बड़ा टॉपिक तो हम एक जनरल स्पीकर्स लिस्ट में तो डिस्कस नहीं कर पाएंगे. So we're going to break that into small subtopics and discuss that in the moderated caucuses. तो moderated caucuses का जो टॉपिक होगा ना, तुम लोग डिसाइड करोगे. ओके, सपोज डेलीगेट ए थिंक्स कि ये इशू डिस्कस होना चाहिए, तो दे विल पुट फॉरवर्ड इन द व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप. ठीक है, कुछ डेलीगेट सोचेंगे कि नहीं ये टॉपिक बहुत सही है, वी नीड टू डिस्कस ऑन दैट, so they will vote for that. In that way, the topics for the moderated caucus is decided. And this is where also you can start lobbying. Lobbying is what? Communication. You need to communicate between yourself, and your lobbying and your communication between your delegates will be monitored. Okay, तुम कितनी अच्छी तरह से कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हो, कितनी अच्छी तरह से एंगेज हो रहे हो कॉन्वर्सेशन में, दैट एवरीथिंग विल बी मॉनिटर्ड. ओके, everything that you do in the group is a part of lobbying. Okay, how well you're responding, how well you're engaging yourself in the conversation, how active you're in the group, everything will be making an impact. So keep this in mind that you need to be really really active in the group, because that is something that will decide if you're going to be one of the best delegates. So this is very important, lobbying and being active in the WhatsApp groups. So the next thing is etiquette. Etiquette, MUN is all about maintaining the decorum and the etiquette. Always raise your placard and speak only if recognized. Only if, suppose delegate A or delegate B raises their placard and the chair recognizes delegate B, and the delegate B speaks only after being recognized. Ki delegate of country B, you're being recognized. Delegate A cannot speak unless they're being recognized. You cannot speak if you're not being recognized by the chair. Okay. So yeah, you can raise your placards, and of course, we'll be recognizing different delegates. एक delegate को हर वक्त नहीं recognize किया जाएगा, because सबको chance मिलना चाहिए ना. So like this is the thing. And address yourself and other delegates by their portfolio, such as delegate of the portfolio, and never by their names. Suppose मेरा नाम शारण्य है ना, and last year I was the delegate of Switzerland, so I would always refer to myself as delegate of Switzerland and not by Sharanya. And suppose in my speech I need to refer to myself, like suppose the speech is I think that. Okay, suppose my sentence starts with I think that. I won't say I think that. I would say the delegate of Switzerland thinks that. Always refer to yourself in the third person. Okay, there will be no usage of personal pronouns. Again, I, you, we. No I, you, we. Only delegates of the, like, only the mention of the portfolios. Okay, delegate of Sweden, delegate of Albania, delegate of Pakistan. In this way, you need to refer to yourself and your fellow delegates. No names. Okay? The EB should be addressed by as chairs. Rachita and I, you'll be addressing us as chairs of the committee, or just the chairs. Like when you'll be raising your points, you're gonna be like chairs, and then your statement. Okay. And the most important, be polite and be confident. Confidence is your key. Confidence is your key in the debate and on the whole day of conference. You can make mistakes, but you need to be confident when you speak. Yes, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be stumbling while you speak, but be confident. Confidence is like what you're gonna be needing on the day of the conference. Okay. Is there any question regarding lobbying or etiquette or anything that I have said until now? Guys,
Yeah, I just want to add कि हमको like एकदम problem नहीं है if you make mistakes in your speech, if you make
yeah, exactly.
grammatical errors, it's fine. Confidence is the thing that you need to have in you. Don't be timid. तुम्हारा ही स्कूल है, तुम्हारे ही सीनियर्स है, तुम्हारा ही कमिटी है, उधर be a bit more, confident and everything. पूरा
Be
fight
free,
कर
okay.
सकते
Free
Yeah,
bano. Huh.
एकदम.
Acha, the next thing. Be a good delegate. Okay. Acha, there's this point. Rochoita was the best delegate from UNHRC last year. So yeah. So she knows more about being a good delegate. So I guess Rochoita can do that more better than me.
Thank you for the recognition, Chair. Okay.
Oh
Now,
my god.
now, what does being a good delegate mean? Being a good delegate, as I told you before, it means that you talk and also you listen. More emphasis on listening, because when you listen to their speeches, when you listen to what they are speaking, that's when you can ask questions to them. That's when you know that if somebody is making mistake or somebody has something to answer to you, you do that. So I'll start with being a good delegate. Okay. So research. A good research makes you well informed. Study background guide, review previous resolutions, and find trustworthy websites. Websites will give you many names of the websites. As much as we used in our researches, we'll give you all the names. Okay. So make sure that your research is thorough. As the delegate of Ukraine had asked earlier, if Ukraine is going through a war right now, so we'll put that or not. You will. Okay, so those are the questions that you must ask to us also, that these things are happening. Should we do that or not? Should we do this or not? Like, make sure you know about the history, present, and the future prospects of your country regarding this whole issue, regarding the whole agenda. Make sure that you know that what your country had done like the present situation, like this uh, situation, this refugee and humanitarian crisis going on in Afghanistan. It's not a relatively new thing. Okay, like many wars that are going on right now, like the Russia and Ukraine war. It's relatively like new. It has a history, but it's relatively new. But this Afghanistan thing, it's not new. Okay, it has been going on for 4 decades, and almost all the countries that you have been assigned has been playing powerful roles in this whole issue, the whole of the refugee crisis and everything. So make sure that you know the history before you know the past. Make sure you know how your country had reacted to certain situations, how your country had formed certain alliances to help or maybe not help Afghanistan. Apart from that, very importantly, team building. As I said, that this is not a one person job. This is a team job. So make sure that when you're giving your speeches, now why I'm saying कि GSL बहुत important है, because if think about a person who is giving a very confident speech, कोई बात नहीं है, even if they are having mistakes in that, even if they're stumbling, they're giving a very confident speech. It creates an impression on the EB as well as the other countries or other delegates present there, that yes, this person is good at what they are doing. Okay, so make sure you do that. You create a good impression, and once you create a good impression, you'll automatically be, accepted as a leader. What does the leader do? A leader builds teams, works hard, and sets an example. So try to do that. When you're building teams or alliances, you need to work together well enough to write the successful PR. As I said, like all of this, all of the things that you're doing right now, every research, every question that you're asking, everything that you're talking about, every lobbying that you're doing, everything will lead up to the draft resolution, the most important factor of NUN. So make sure you do that. You know, right, how you have to influence people in order to build a good team. Okay. So try to do that. Try to be as confident, as strong as you can be. Okay. And yeah, do not shy away from asking questions. When a delegate is yielding their time to the floor. That is why I'm asking all the delegates. Don't be scared to yield your time to the floor. Yield your time to the floor so that you can be asked questions. On the other hand, others also get a chance to ask questions and you get a chance to answer those questions because that determines how nice your research is, how strong your background is. Okay. Apart from that, public speaking, making a good speech, as I said earlier, will get you recognized by your fellow delegates and the ED. You need to listen and get listened to. Very important. Listen and get listened to. There's a certain thing, okay, maybe some people are speaking, but you don't actually pay attention that much to them because they don't have that, that confidence reflecting through their speech. So make sure that like your confidence reflects through your speech. Make sure that you can get everyone's attention. You can bring everyone's attention to yourself. So make sure to do that. And there are like it's not just that you have to be a very good high level speaker. You can add certain points to your speeches that makes your speeches more attention grabbing. Like add a quote from like related to the situation or start with a question that will grab everyone's attention. Apart from that, very important, and I think we all know that, you have to follow decorum of the committee. Okay, following basic manners goes a long way where you want to put up a good impression. Of course, if you're following all the rules and regulation, if you're doing what you have said, if you're listening to the delegates, if you're not offending them, then of course you will be supported by the delegates. So try to maintain that. Yes, you have to be aggressive while you're asking questions. You have to be aggressive while you're asking for the chips. Aggressive मतलब मारपीट नहीं करना, वो नहीं करना है, ठीक है? Aggressive मतलब you have to ask nice questions, strong questions कि ये क्यों हो रहा है तुम्हारे country में, इसका आंसर भी मेरे को चाहिए. So do that. Okay, but do it in a very polite way. ऐसे करके मत बोलना उसको कि वो offend हो जाए. Then of course that country will not be supporting you. And you might think कि ठीक है एक country को offend कर दिया, I don't have a problem. But the thing is that when it comes to voting, each and every country's vote matters. There have been draft resolutions which have won only by one vote. Like maybe draft resolution A got 11 votes and the B got 12 votes. Okay, so you see how that differs. You see how that will take you to becoming the best delegate and eventually getting recognized by everyone. And yeah, one more thing. If you are the best delegate or if you get the first three prizes, then you will be given the prizes by Mandura ma'am and Anjana ma'am. So the whole school will be recognizing you. So it's a big deal. Okay. So please try to be a good, delegate. Try to bring out your points. Try to, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I know asking to the yielding the floor to the EB, yielding the time to the EB might sound more beneficial, but I would ask you to yield it to the truth so that there can be room for debating and everything, because after all MUN is a debate. Okay, any questions in this? Do you want me to explain it once again? No questions? Anything? Ukraine, do you want to ask something?
Yes, if someone accidentally uses some improper words, can we use that right to reply then?
No. Actually, if somebody uses improper words as in slangs or something, we'll immediately, catch hold of that person and we'll take certain steps that we have to take. We'll request you to keep that in check, that you don't use improper words and everything.
Okay.
We'll take care. अगर किसी ने any time, even during the speech, somehow by mistake or during asking questions and answering questions, yielding time, if you say some improper words, we'll take care of that and we'll stop you there and then, and we'll take actions against that. Anyway, does anyone have any questions, not just regarding this slide, but regarding everything that happened before? No? Can I get the thumbs up, please?
Thumbs
Thank
ups are a way to go. Yes,
Yeah.
delegates.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful. Okay.
Beautiful. This is the response that we wanted. Thank you.
Yes. And this is the response that we need to have in the WhatsApp
Of
groups.
course.
This is the point of activity that we
Of
need.
course. UNHRC.
Guys,
I just want to mention this that as we are also talking about that, last year UNHRC's draft resolution won among all the countries, and UNHRC was the best committee. So this year also you have a huge legacy. You've come to
you need
UNHRC,
to
you have a
maintain the
huge
legacy.
legacy. Yeah.
Yes. And
UNHRC
also
last
I want
year,
to add
wow.
a point. If you want, if you win the best delegate award, not only you will get recognized by Mondara ma'am, Anjana ma'am, also it may be possible that ma'am principal will recognize you.
Yeah.
Yes, because she might be present during the closing ceremony.
She will
And
be, I
yeah,
guess.
yes, delegates, this is the
Huge.
chance.
Huge. This
This is the
is a
chance.
huge chance. और अगर UNHRC बेस्ट कमेटी बन गया तो फिर तो
एकदम पार्टी करेंगे.
पार्टी.
Okay, चलो.
Yeah.
तो good
So,
speech ना. Yeah, हाँ.
hey
Mehul.
everyone. Yeah. So one last thing I'm sure that Rachita and Sharanya would have already told you, but I'll still like to mention that is if you are feeling overwhelmed by all these procedures and all, don't be, because on the main conference session, the chair will be helping through all of the points and everything. So don't feel overwhelmed by the procedure. The main thing about MUN is first you need to have proper research, and the second thing is you need to write good speeches and all. Baki, I don't think you need to worry about procedures and all. And also, you can text Ankita, me, or your chair for any doubt, literally any doubt you have. You can even call us at any time. Yeah.
I mean not at any time. थोड़ा पूछ लेना कि कब फ्री है, वरना कॉल ही नहीं उठा पाएंगे. तो ऐसा नहीं, पूछ लेना थोड़ा कहाँ फ्री है. And अगर 12 बजे भी कॉल कर रहे हो तो I'll pick it up.
Because we'll be doing researches on our own ना,
Yeah.
तो हम जगह रहेंगे. तो
हाँ,
कॉल
तो
कर
एक
लेना.
महीने से 12 बजे तक जग ही रहे हम, तो कोई बात नहीं. We'll do it.
Yes.
Guys, have you reached to the end of the slide? Like end of the PPT? I'm asking.
Almost.
बस ये
Because
बाकी है और
IP mention करना.
Okay.
Yeah. Explain IP
IP
in the
तो
end.
AIP team का था ना.
No. All committee. Two in all committee.
Initial is having IP.
Mhm.
Yes, every committee is having IP.
Oh my God, Mehul, you did not tell this before.
We had
thought-
not decided like it till the last moment. Two IP in each committee. Discuss it with the delegates and make sure they understand it.
Delegates, this is a huge opportunity.
Delegate, this is like
You are
this
literally gonna
huge
become
thing
celebrity.
to get
Things
yourself
just got
celebrity.
more
बन
interesting.
जाओगे.
Okay, सब intense हो
Okay.
गया थोड़ा सा.
This is like giving this an extra edge to the whole thing, the IP. Oh my god. First of all, I'm losing my mind. Okay.
Don't lose your
Me
mind.
too.
You have to explain it to them.
Yes. Okay. Calm down. So, what I first let me just finish this speech thing, then I'll just explain the IP. Okay. So the way to make a good speech is again research. A good speech will reflect how well you have done your research. You need to get yourself involved in your country's history with the agenda and what your country done for the thing, how what things UN has done for the thing, like the whole issue at hand. Okay, and everything that you find is gonna be crucial for your speech. So research, do a thorough research on the topic and your country. Tone, okay. I guess the speakers that like the experienced speakers that we have in our meeting today know the importance of the tone. Okay, when you speak, when you're putting forward a speech, your tone should be convincing enough. Okay, for example, I am putting forward a speech, so the way that I'm gonna be speaking, it will actually influence the other delegates to think about what I have spoken about, and then if possible to vote on it, to vote in favor of it. speak in such a way that the delegate that who is listening to you actually ponders over the points that you have gone through and then correlates them with their own points, so that later during the unmod and the brace, when you want to like search for potential allies, that you can make them come up and like form alliances. So that is how powerful your tone for the speech gonna be. You're gonna be convincing other delegates to form alliances with you and form strong alliances. Okay, fluency again does not really matter, but again is kind of beneficial. Okay, your method of oration will speak a lot. Okay, again, your fluency and tone are kind of interrelated. If you're fluent, if your tone is convincing enough, the other delegates will come up to you and form alliances. But then again, the major thing about the speech is the research. If your research is good, if your research is like fabulous, everything else will come second to it. And again, I repeat this: it is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to like be stumbling. Like I know like many of us here have will be speaking for the first time during the conference, and it is fine. It is fine to make mistakes. It is fine to forget some points while speaking. But again, तुम लोग तो देख के बोलोगे ना. But then again, देख के बोलने में sometimes problems होती है. It's fine to make mistakes. It's fine to stumble on your words. Just be confident. Confidence is going to be your key. And now, some like more important tips. Know the ins and outs of the agenda and your country's connection with it. Do not refer to any biased media. Of course, we do have some biased media, okay, on our social networks, and please do not refer to that, because sometimes it so happens like they like kind of whitewash the whole thing and put forward a certain like view on that. So that is, I guess, is not really beneficial to your point and can like really put you in a negative light. And again, thorough research, the ins and outs of the agenda kya hai? Humanitarian and refugee crisis with deliberation on Afghanistan. यूएस अफगान वॉर, अफगान में जो रेफ्यूजी क्राइसिस हो रही है पिछले 40 सालों से, उसके बारे में पढ़ो, उसके बारे में रिसर्च करो, क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा है, क्या होना चाहिए, क्या किया गया है उसके बारे में, सब any information that you find is very crucial. Okay, and your country, तुम्हारे देश ने क्या किया है, ठीक है, तुम्हारे देश ने अपने रेफ्यूजी क्राइसिस के टाइम क्या किया है, and how that will affect, or not really affect, but help Afghanistan, or maybe as the refugee crisis as a whole. The ins and outs of the agenda and your country's connection, how your country correlates with the agenda. Okay, country A अपने रेफ्यूजी और ह्यूमैनिटेरियन क्राइसिस के टाइम में क्या किया, और like they are going to speak on the humanitarian refugee crisis in the US Afghan war, or maybe in Afghanistan in general. Okay, a thorough research again and again. A thorough research is very important. I cannot emphasize this enough, how important your research gonna be. It will be even more important than your tone and fluency. Okay, if your speech is good enough, if your research is good enough, delegates will automatically come up and form alliances with you. So make sure that you make a good research. Okay. A research binder is highly recommended. It contains all the information that you need for a conference at your fingertips. Now, अब हम लोग तो सब ह्यूमंस है ना, हम तो एआई नहीं है, हम तो सब like information अपने दिमाग में स्टोर करके नहीं रख सकते ना. So research binder is something like this is like this collection of paper that you can like jot down any information that you find while you're researching. Research कर रहे हो ना, suppose मैं research करने बैठी हूँ, ठीक है, और एक मुझे एक small सा data मिल गया, that which I think might be beneficial during the debates. So I'm gonna be jotting down that point like in the corner, like any relevant like block. तो कि जब मैं उसे रेफर करूं, I can get the point, and that is like will be like the winning point of the debate. Okay, debate में होता क्या है? I'm putting forward my points, right? And some points will overpower the opponent's one. So that is the thing. The research binder will be having every crucial information that you can find on the topic, and like help you on the day of the conference to make your speeches. Also, suppose unmod में alliances बना रहे हो, alliances like serious alliances नहीं, like opinion share कर रहे हो, and suppose like both of you guys come up with a nice solution. तो solution का क्या करें, and you want to add something to that, तो क्या करें कि research binder में एक information है तो that you can add to the solution. तो research binder में है ना, तुम्हें याद रखने की ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं है, तो you can just put forward that point during the lobby. This is what the work of the research binder is. This is like this collection of sheets where you are basically jotting down all of the information, and you can't really, also the main use of research binder is you cannot use internet while like in the room of conferences for any fact check. So anything that you find about any country in relation with the agenda, any country, we're having like 45 delegates in a committee, anything that you find that is relating this country with the agenda, jot it down. Okay, that will help you to put forward questions, okay, on the basis of the speech. And like research boundaries are like something that will like really put you apart from other delegates. So I hope everybody of you will be preparing research binders and bringing them on the day of conference. Okay. Also, being aware of background of topic. बैकग्राउंड गाइड प्रोवाइडेड विल गिव यू एन इनिशियल इनसाइट. अच्छा, आज ट्रेनिंग सेशन है ना, तो ट्रेनिंग सेशन आज है, तो कल या परसों को एक बैकग्राउंड गाइड दिया जाएगा ग्रुप में. बैकग्राउंड गाइड क्या है कि हमारा एजेंडा क्या है, ह्यूमैनिटेरियन एंड रेफ्यूजी क्राइसिस इन with deliberation on Afghanistan. So इस पूरे टॉपिक के बारे में we are gonna be like giving you a basic information कि क्या हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है, कब हुआ था, like all of this, okay, and like some basic data so that you can like base your research on something. Like it is gonna like give you this starting ignition. You understand, right? Like it, huh? So like basic thing कि background guide will help you to give this a ground base to this whole thing. Past international actions, UN's website, UNHRC's website, key treaties or resolutions mentioned in your background guide, UN or NGO report. Any action by your country, by the UN, by the UNHRC that you can find on the internet, that will be important. That will be important on the day of the conference. Anything that you can find regarding the actions taken about it, any resolution passed, any what do I say, any actions that has been taken by any leader of any country. Okay, that will be very important. Country policy, the CIA World Fact Book. What is the CIA World Fact Book? The CIA World Fact Book has like contains the basic information of like every country. So suppose like I'm the delegate of India. Okay, suppose I'm the delegate of India and I want to have the basic information about everything, the geographical location, the geographical area, okay, the basic economic structure, the basic governmental structure, okay, and what are the other things that are going to be necessary for me to know about my country. Basically a country profile. You understand what a country profile is, right? So it is like all of this information that I need to know about a certain country. Because what often so it happens कि जो portfolio हमें मिलता है, we don't really know much about it. So this fact book or the country profile will help us to have like an initial understanding of the situation in the country. Situation as in economic structure, governmental structure, the things like this. Your country's foreign ministry website, foreign affairs of the country are very important. Okay, because you're going to be making statements, you're going to be asking questions, you're going to be debating with other delegates from different countries. So the delegate of Switzerland wants to put forward a statement or a question to delegate of Belgium. So the delegate of Switzerland needs to know what the Switzerland, the relation between the Switzerland and Belgium is. How does the foreign affairs work between the two countries? That is very important to know. The domestic programs within your country, country के अंदर क्या हो रहा है, ठीक है, इशू को लेके, ठीक है, जैसे कि मैंने बोला था कि कंट्री के अंदर जो हो रहा है, that is also you can like what do I say? put forward as a proposed solution कि हमारे देश में ये किया था. You can also try this out, like as a, what do I say, as a opinion or an idea during lobbying or unmod. Okay. And your country's voting records and key treaties on resolutions. जो major resolutions passed किए थे, ठीक है, during about the whole agenda, the humanitarian refugee crisis in Afghanistan, 40 सालों से जो हो रहा है उसके ऊपर जो रेजोल्यूशंस और ट्रीटीज पास किए गए हैं उसके बारे में हमारे देश ने कौन सा वोटिंग किया है. ठीक है, डिड माय कंट्री वोट, डिड माय कंट्री डिड नॉट वोट, डिड माय कंट्री स्टे न्यूट्रल or was against it, anything that your country did about the voting procedure, about the treaties and resolutions is very important. Okay, like you need to be like aware of the whole thing that your country did about the agenda and the actions taken in relation with that. Okay, I know I have said a many lot of things. Does that any one of you have any doubt?
Yes.
Guys, I
Thumbs
have
up.
said many things, and I guess some of these are very confusing. Does any one of you have any doubt? Like, do you want me to repeat anything about the, like, the things I have said, the research binder, the country's connections, anything, the voting procedures?
Can you repeat about the research binder once again?
Yes, the research binder. So, like, Sanjukta, for example, you're researching about Albania with that what Albania has done for the agenda. Okay, suppose you're researching on like the particular topic, and suppose while you're reading the articles, right, you get this information कि another country, like suppose for example Belgium or Norway has done something like regarding the issue. So it is not really connected with your country, but you need to remember that information, right? When if you want to put forward questions later on the day of the conference, right? So you can just like you can just jot down that information. Ki Belgium or Norway did this on this, like on your research binder. So research binder is what? It is a collection of information. It is a collection of your research information. Okay, so this is what research binder is. It contains everything that you can find about the agenda. It is not only about your country but also about other countries. We're having 45 delegates in the committee. You need to know you need to, like, if you can know everything about the whole countries with the agenda, but please be thorough with your research, and any information as small as it can be, you never know how when it will come handy to you. Okay, so please like form a research binder. It is like highly and highly recommended. Yeah. And any extra doubts?
And I would like to add something कि like it's not that complex. ठीक है, तो ज़्यादा pressure मत दो. Like research binder as in a like as normally कि तुमको एक point jot down कर दो. ठीक है, ऐसे कि तुम हर page को print out नहीं कर सकती. If you want to print out, you can print it out. It's on you. But
It is
अपना
something
सारे
that you will
points,
refer to.
हाँ, अपने सारे पॉइंट्स जॉट डाउन कर लियो, अपने सारे स्पीचेस उसमें रख लियो कि जब भी तुमको टाइम लगेगा कोई चैनल फाइल में तुमने अपने सारे स्पीचेस लाए, अपने सारे पॉइंट्स लाए कि अच्छा ठीक है ये पॉइंट तब लग सकता है, ये लग सकता है. ओके, apart from that I would also like to add कि when you're doing the research, do it in respect to the refugees. Okay, ऐसे ही नहीं कि कोई भी लॉ पर कर लो रिसर्च किसी भी ये पर. See that the laws and the things that you're researching about are related to the refugees in Afghanistan or refugees as a whole. Because कोई law अगर किसी refugee के against होगा तो it will automatically affect the Afghani refugees. So ये तुम लोग देख लेना. Think like look at the laws such as the basic laws. ठीक है, उन पर देखना कि are there any mentions of the refugees? Are there separate laws for the refugees? Many countries have separate laws for the refugees. Apart from that, when we were making the list now, we had divided your countries according to a certain order. We won't tell you what order, but I'll tell you how. Like we try to do that. One of them is the victim countries, the countries which were victims. Like victim तुमको पता है कौन है? Afghanistan, of course. So the victim countries. Another are the cause countries, the countries which might have caused this or which are helping in the refugee crisis. Some or the other way, many countries which are involved have caused it or also have helped. Another thing are curtain countries, something that I like to call curtain countries. Some countries that are, having a facade, ki they're helping a lot and they're doing a lot, but in their own country, they have many faults. Okay, so find those faults out. Find those things out. Because think about it, किसी country में अगर तुम्हारा humanitarian laws ठीक नहीं है, तो of course किसी भी refugee के लिए भी वो same ही होगा. Maybe it might be worse because you know that refugees are treated worse than citizens. तो अगर citizens के लिए किसी country में खराब laws है, तो you know that what's gonna happen with refugees. Also find out कि कैसे type का prejudices चल रहा है refugees के साथ. तुम्हारे कंट्री में भी और दूसरे कंट्री में भी. आई नो कि तुम लोगों के पास इतना टाइम नहीं है कि हर एक कंट्री का हर एक चीज देखो, बट सिलेक्ट सर्टेन कंट्रीज. ओके, find out those certain countries. I'll like tell you to go for research on the GCC countries. Okay, I'm not telling you which GCC countries are, but I'll tell you to go for research on GCC countries. सब मत करने जाना, ज्यादा countries पर भी attack करना. Okay, and yeah, so find those things out. Like ऐसा नहीं है कि यूएसए इज अ प्रोमिनेंट कंट्री, अफगानिस्तान इज अ प्रोमिनेंट कंट्री, सो एवरीबडी जाकर वो यूएसए के साथ ही बात कर रहे हैं, एवरीबडी जाकर अफगानिस्तान के साथ बात कर रहे हैं. नहीं, ट्राई टू question every country. And if you don't have, like, the main thing is that अगर तुम्हारे पास points नहीं हो किसी country के खिलाफ, तो that person might be giving a speech. उस speech को अच्छे से सुनो. You might have certain questions with regarding to that speech. Like some country might say कि in order to bring peace to us, I'm telling you in regard of other, like in regard of some other agenda, think that उस agenda का solution उस country ने बोला कि हमारे country में बहुत सारे marches होते हैं, बहुत सारे लोग आकर ऐसे मार्च करते हैं, ये करते हैं. तो यू कैन से कि अगर ये मार्चेस होते हैं तो इसका मतलब ये भी होता है कि देयर इज अ डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियंस, एंड मेनी टाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस इन मार्चेस आर देयर can be fights. There is a chance of public fights, especially in a country like India. You might have seen that there are many times marches turn out to be violent fights. So you can question on that कि अगर तुम ये बोल रही हो कि यहाँ marches हो रहा है, but there are, chances of it turning into a fight, then what will you do? Because the main thing that UN focuses on is peace. Peacefully we'll find out solutions. We'll not say कि रशिया यूक्रेन पर वॉर कर रहा है तो रशिया के ऊपर मिसाइल फेंको. We cannot do that. We need peace. That is why UN was created, and every committee of the UN is based on the same principle कि with peace we'll find out solutions. So do remember that. Everything, also the geography of your country is very, very important, because if you want people to come inside your country, if you want people to, uh, like if you want other countries to bring in refugees, or if you know refugees को अगर तुम्हारे country में लाना है, so they must have an easy passage. They will not cross mountains and everything to come into your country, because already they are running from a situation where their life was in danger. So find out that. Also find out there are many countries which do not directly accept refugees, but they like migrate refugees. Like उनके country में refugee आ गया तो वो migrate कर देते हैं किसी European country या any country. So find that out. Okay. These can be used as points. Like तुमको किसी ने पूछ लिया कि you are only accepting 200 refugees. Why? You can say that कि it's here because the geography of our country is very different. Or you can also say that the population of our country is very huge. So use those general terms. General terms से भी तुम answer बना सकते हो. So like basic general knowledge थोड़ा रखो. GDP, trade relation, तुम्हारा laws, refugee laws अगर है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, नहीं है तो. And one more thing, when you're searching for, when you're doing your research now, there's like we have a plus point. The UN has a different committee, the real UN. UN has a different committee for refugees. It is known as the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. Please go and check out the documents in that. You'll get a lot of idea from that. So please go and check out the documents. We'll also try to give you more, like you can already see that there are many sites in the slide. We'll also try to give you more slides in the background side. So you'll be able to find it out. Okay. I hope this point was clear. And I'm gonna ask again, do you have any questions? Does anyone have any questions? Okay. So now we are gonna explain the IP.
IP, yeah. Rashida, just do the IP because I'm too excited about a thing. I'm not gonna explain it well.
I don't even know if I can do it. So okay, I'll try to give you a fun example. ठीक है, fun example से समझाती हूँ. So you might have seen कि जब एक movie premiere होता है, पहला premiere में always all the journalists, all the important directors, all the important actors who can bring clout to the movie are invited. Okay. So तुम जब journalists को देखती हो, तो what do they do after seeing the movie? The cast, like the heroine or the hero, they come out in the red carpet and they start asking question कि आपका रोल ये था, आपने ये किया, regarding the movie, how were you inspired, everything. ये सब तुम लोगों ने देखा ही होगा, right? So IP is something like that. After each and every committee, like 2 दिन है तुम्हारे committee sessions के लिए, तो each and every session के बाद they'll be asking you question. Delegates को directly question पूछ सकते हैं वो लोग, या फिर as a whole committee को question पूछ सकते हैं. They'll take out, different parts from your speech. They'll be writing it down. जैसे journalist होता है ना, real conference में journalist बैठा रहता है कैमरा वैमरा लेकर. We'll bring a camera guy, okay, so that you can get the feel. And DSLR camera नहीं, but normal camera. Okay, we'll try to bring a camera guy. We'll try. That's all I can say. We'll try to bring a camera guy. तो फ्लैशेस व्लैशेस सब होंगे एकदम अच्छे से, वैसे करके तुम लोगों को क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा. ठीक है, कि तुमने कोई स्पीच दिया, किसी के स्पीच में क्वेश्चन पूछा है, ठीक है, किसी ने नहीं पूछा क्वेश्चन, उसको शायद से टाइम ही नहीं मिला, जैसे कि ईल्ड का टाइम ही नहीं मिला और किसी ने तुमको क्वेश्चन पूछा ही नहीं, क्योंकि चिप्स तो सिर्फ ईबी देख रहे हैं और जो क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है वो देख रहा है और जो क्वेश्चन आंसर कर रही है वो, दूसरे तो चिप्स नहीं देख पाएंगे ना. चिप्स सिर्फ ईबी देख पाएगा एंड द डेलीगेट्स इन्फॉर्म. So the like journal is sitting there. IP stands for International Press Release. Okay. So IP वहाँ रहेगा and they'll be noting down things and they'll be asking you questions at the end of each session. And the ones who are drafting the draft resolution, you will be asked questions on your draft resolution. You'll be asked questions right after you, like the draft resolution is selected, the IP will jot down points and they'll be asking questions. So it's a very formal thing and it's very fun, like एकदम celebrity वाला feeling आ रहा है. So enjoy this. This is like today we were talking to principal ma'am and everyone, and this MUN is gonna be the biggest event of the whole year. So please cherish this moment, give it your all. Even your exams have been postponed, so like give it your all and be there, like एकदम सेंटर ऑफ. सबको ऐसा होना चाहिए मन में कि मेरे को सेंटर ऑफ अटेंशन बनना है. उसको डेलीगेट भी मेरे को क्वेश्चन करे, आईपी भी मेरे को क्वेश्चन करे और मैं आंसर दूं. सबको ऐसा रहना चाहिए. ओके, तभी पिक्चर्स आएंगे. ओके, वरना नहीं खींचेंगे पिक्चर.
I can see Swasini being kind of fretted about this whole IP thing. Swasini, calm down.
Don't worry, we are there now. तुमको ज्यादा
I can see your cheeks getting red and all from all the smiling. Guys, calm down. IP is not so serious. Okay, it's gonna be like just like एकदम journalist का type. तुम्हारा interview लिया जाएगा वहाँ पे. तुम क्या बोल रहे हो बस?
और journalist को तुम कोई भी answer दो, it's like answer ही है. तुमको जो देना है तुम दे सकते हो. You can even say no, I don't want to answer this. You can even say that.
I don't think
like we wouldn't recommend that. We wouldn't recommend that, but yeah. So you can do that. ये पता चल गया IP. Is everyone okay with IP? IP ठीक है? एकदम celebrities मेरे सारे.
एकदम celebrity moment मिलेगा सबको.
हाँ, सबको एकदम picture front time में हम try करेंगे.
हमारे time IP नहीं था. हमारे time IP नहीं था. हम तो online में
हम online में कर रहे थे. हमको cloud भी नहीं मिला.
तुम लोगों को IP मिलेगा. तुम लोगों को celebrity moment मिलेगा. Cherish that.
छीन लो, cherish like be like मेरे को celebrity बनना है. हाँ, मैं हूँ heroine के. हाँ, बताओ मेरे को question पूछो. ऐसे, okay? So be that. Any questions regarding the IP or the whole procedure? No? Anything that you want to say? If you want to say something, हमसे कुछ पूछना है, कुछ बात करना है, बोल सकते हो अभी. कुछ? No?
Guys, we need reviews about the whole
reviews
session.
तो प्लीज बताओ कि कैसा था ट्रेनिंग सेशन. कुछ समझ में नहीं आया कि फिर दो महिलाएं आई, बोली और चली गई.
एकदम क्या बोली किसी को समझ में नहीं आया. क्या बक के चले गए, क्या कुछ दिखा के चले गए, समझ में नहीं आया. ऐसा नहीं हुआ ना.
हाँ
प्लीज बोलो, ऐसा कुछ नहीं।
प्लीज प्लीज थोड़ा बोलकर हमको थोड़ा बता दो और थैंक
थैंक
यू
यू
थैंक यू
प्रत्युषा, थैंक यू अहोना। I have. Rachita is an inborn celebrity. Okay. Yes, Swasini, this is the spirit that we need. Guys, do any one of you wants to like speak anything about the whole thing, or like being a delegate, or being adding, like getting added to this conference,
कैसा
or like
फीलिंग आ रहा है
getting
ये तो बताओ कि
हाँ,
कैसा लग रहा है आर यू
excitement
फीलिंग
कैसा है?
एक्साइटेड
How's the Josh, guys? Yes, Suchandan, be hyped. Yes,
हाई हाई सर बोलो यार एक बार प्लीज यार ऐसा नहीं ब्रो
yes, we need the spirit because conference के दिन बहुत कुछ होने वाला है, बहुत hype होने वाला है
हंगेरी
conference
यस
के। Nervous chill मारो, संजुक्ता chill chill, पूरा चाप
संजुक्ता
ले।
यू नर्वस तुमको मैंने कभी नर्वस नहीं देखा है तुम जो लीडिंग करती हो डिसिप्लिन कमिटी की तुम पूरी एकदम यू नो कोड हो
दीदी, एकदम
दीदी हो
Discipline.
दीदी ऑफ द स्कूल ममता बनर्जी लाइट
Oh, no political, no political information
Sorry, I
here.
forgot this was an AIP.
That's only for AIPPM.
Sorry. Sorry.
Sure, you can, I guess. Yeah, the official one is
Okay.
done.
Before we do everything, I want to introduce you to a